New apartment. First place on my own. Man, it's been a minute since I've filmed anything. It's been, I think, 2 or 3 months, and I feel like there's a lot that has changed. First of all, quick tour. Nothing too fancy. We got half the couch. Other half is coming in, I believe, 4 to 6 weeks. Kitchen, nothing special. Floor mattress, floor TV with the goat, Caleb, on there. And yeah, that is pretty much the space. Got bathroom there. And man, I got this place almost a month ago now. It was September, or I locked it in, end of August. And man, it's been a crazy few months. Yeah, I've been wanting to get my own place for... I remember saying that I wanted to move out since I was 16. 16 years old, I'm like, all right, like I want to move out. I want to get my own place. And at 18, I think I'm sure the story in one of my first videos, but anyways, when I was 18 or so, or maybe 17, I wanted to move out, signed a lease with a buddy of mine, and signed a lease, got the stuff, and when it came to the day of moving, I was freaking scared. And by the way, I didn't even tell my parents the whole time. I was looking for a place, went to visit it, didn't tell them anything. And yeah, I got really scared. I told my parents, and I'm like, hey, can you afford this? Because I had no job. I had just left my job to pursue freelancing, and I was like, I was not helping myself to the best that I could. And I was like, no. I put my name on a lease, told the guy, hey, I'm gonna help you and we'll move in together to like split costs and whatnot, and I can't afford that. I was so scared of, if I do move out, I'm gonna need to figure it out, or if I decide not to, then I'm gonna be letting this guy down. Either way, felt like a big loss for me. Ended up not moving in with him. I stayed with my parents, and because I felt bad, I still, with the help of my parents financially, I paid him, I believe, the first 3 months of rent. And fast forward, literally 3 years, maybe 4. I'm now in my own place, and the funny part is, rent here is like 3 times what I was gonna pay 3 or 4 years ago with that guy that I could not imagine affording. And it's pretty wild to look back. And yeah, I mean, just check out this view. Little smoky. Becoming the person is something that I've been thinking a lot about lately. And being a young guy in my 20s in the Western world, being on social media, it's very easy to get caught up with other people's highlights or lows when it comes to, you know, I want this car, I should be making this amount of money, or I'm not doing good enough and I don't feel loved and I don't have anyone around me and I feel lonely, or I want this type of woman in my life because I deserve it, or I want this new thing. I want to start getting into watches and real estate and all these things. And it's very easy to get caught up into it. I grew up in a smaller town than where I live now, and I would say it wasn't necessarily like slightly poorer town. Like, this feels a little bit more wealthy, and there's a lot more wealthy people that live here, even though it's about the same size population wise than where I grew up. And yeah, it's just very easy, and like, I make a very good salary for a guy my age compared to like just the average salary for men my age, or even people that I've grown up with and they went to university and I took my own path. And also now having the opportunity to be around some very, very high achievers, people that are making call it 200 grand a month by the age of 25. Like, those are my peers currently, which is cool to say. And I'm also super grateful, because I used to feel a lot of imposter syndrome being around those people, that I did not deserve to be in that same room and sit at the same table. And now they're just my buddies, which is awesome. However, with that comes the comparison game, ego, entitlement. What do I deserve, right? And it's a tough game to play, because at the end of the day, there's no right answer, right? You can drive a beat up car for 15 years, or you can get the new car next year. You can do whatever you want. You got free will. But at the end of the day, is who is the person that I want to become, is the thing that I keep reminding myself of. And as much as I will have the nice cars and all the nice things one day, however, even though that is what's currently around me a lot, just because I get to hang out with this caliber of individuals on a daily basis, it is not what I want most. And when I think about what I want most and the type of person that I want to become, it is a provider for my future family, providing safety, providing financially, providing safety for my future family, emotionally just as much as physically. I want to be a man of God, a good example of what that looks like. I want to be a servant. And if I think of the things that are required, or the behaviors that person would do on a regular basis compared to what I'm currently doing on a regular basis, those two don't align a lot. For example, for the last 2 months, I went on a cut, started in April, and then I was like, I'm gonna go on a cut until I go back to New Brunswick to see my friends and family, which was 4 months. And then after that I was done, and now it's the end of September. I've been freestyling for the last 2 months when it comes to training, diet, calendar structure as well, because I'm not working out consistently. I have more free time in my calendar, which I haven't been utilizing well. And again, when I think of the type of person that I want to become, those behaviors will not get me there. And again, it's tough because I can look at all the people around me and what they currently have and what they currently are doing. But at the same time, if I look at other aspects of those people's lives, they're not necessarily something that I'm looking to recreate for myself. And the thing I try to remind myself constantly of is, and it's tough because I, more often than not, don't even see it as a sacrifice, but it's sacrifice what you want now for what you want most. I want the nice car now, but what I want even more is a beautiful big house that I can make my home with my family. Not to say that I can't have both of those, and I will, but again, if I'm making X amount per year and I look at the way I can deploy the capital that I'm making, which one is a better investment long term, right? And there's also the flip side of that same coin, which is you also need to become more valuable to be able to pull in more resources to be able to get both, right? But as far as sequencing, yeah, just delaying what you want now for what you want most. And that's on the financial side. So I'm glad, I'm so pumped that I got my own place. And my first instinct is, okay, cool, I got my place, what's the car? When? 12 months, 6 months? Like, what is it? And the more I think about it, it's just not, I do want one, it's just not what I want most. What I want most, and the ways that I've changed my behaviors in the last week or two, because today is September 27th, 2025. And 17 days ago, shook me. The man that was shot that day, I admire a lot. Him, his family, what he stood for. I won't sit here and say he was perfect. I mean, no one is. But yeah, if I skip to the end, if I think of the type of woman that I want to be with. And by the way, that man's wife is a stellar example of what that can look like. A true woman of God, family-oriented mother, wife, serving wife, a caring mother who turned a house into a home. And who, and above everything, served God, but also admired her husband very deeply, and it's very apparent. And the way I'm behaving today will not attract a woman like that. So I need to look at that person, that man that can get a woman, relationship, a family that looks like that. What does that person do? How does that person behave? Who is fundamentally, who is that person? And I just started acting accordingly. And I feel that I've been very lukewarm with my faith, especially this year. And it's something I do want to talk more deeply about later on. But I have not been reading my Bible consistently at all. And when that event happened, I opened it up again and have been reading it daily since. And it hasn't been that long, but once I got started, it's very hard to break the streak. It's hard to start it, to get into it, but once you start it, you don't want to put the book down. And that's one aspect, my faith. How can I be more bold with it and actually walk on the path that God is putting in front of me? I mean, it's scary at times. When it comes to my fitness, 2 months ago I signed up for a half marathon. That is tomorrow morning, 7:30 a.m. Never done anything of the such. If you asked me 3-4 years ago, I would have told you I'm not a runner. I've never ran until 4 years ago. And even that, I just started doing 5-kilometer runs and 25-minute runs, and it wasn't a lot. But now, a buddy of mine and I are looking to do a 70.3 half Ironman in 12 months or so. Yes, that is a cool achievement, but one of the reasons that I want to do it is for something else that I've been thinking about a lot, which comes back to the type of man that I want to become. And that man that I'm picturing is a man that has very good emotional control, which to me means on the days where he is tired, not feeling it, half sick, sore, didn't get a full night of sleep, maybe didn't get his perfect diet the day before, can still, one, get the job done, but also two, do it out of a place that doesn't seem like he's complaining, like he's ungrateful, like he's unfaithful. And it's something that I've been trying to work on recently, because I feel like as someone would say, I wear my heart on my sleeves a lot. It is, I think, pretty easy for the people around me to tell if I'm having a good day or not, based on the way I behave, the way I look, the way I talk to people or don't talk. And when it comes to doing just something hard in general, it could be Ironman, could have been a bodybuilding competition, but when it comes to doing something hard, it's more of a mental challenge than it is physical, because everything physical is a byproduct of your thoughts, right? You'll never do an Ironman if you don't force yourself mentally to push your body to do that. And yeah, it's one of the things that will help me get physically fitter for sure, but also develop that grit that I haven't really forced myself to get into that space in a very long time. And same thing for food. Food is exactly the same as well. Right, when it comes to diet, nourishing your body in the right ways for the right reasons. And yeah, that's kind of where I'm at. Same for even, when it comes to approaching women and also just like people in general, right? Because I've always, again, told myself and have been told I'm very kind of shy, but also just like, I don't necessarily go out of my way to talk to people, to new people. Once you get to know me, I'm like one of the most, I'd say, laid back as you could be, unbothered in a sense. But
I rarely go out of my way to, meet people and talk to people. And it's something I've also been working on to do more of, which therefore helps me be less emotionally attached or invested too quickly, which has definitely happened in the past. And again, it's all like everything I'm currently thinking of and doing is pointing back to becoming the person, that guy. And the beautiful part about it too is there's also no finish line. And as I check things off at the top of the list, other things will pop up at the bottom of it. And that's the beautiful journey of life. But I also think that a lot of people don't have a list of things they're working on, wanting to improve. And yeah, it's kind of where I'm at. Man, I feel like I haven't done one of these in 3 months, almost 2.5 months. A lot has happened since, a lot. Don't know where to start. I'll leave it at that for now. But doing these is something that I do want to do more of consistently, and also just improve over time on my speaking, storytelling, delivery, actually having a clear point, because sometimes I definitely don't. But yeah, the one question lately is, or the one statement is, becoming the person. Whatever that looks like for you, I encourage you to do things that point to who that person is, and not just what you feel like doing in the moment. That's it.